It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Monday morning. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Now, we all know that classic movie moment where two beautiful strangers lock eyes and they just know that there's a spark of attraction between the two of them. It's just forever. Or sometimes it just kind of creeps up unexpectedly and suddenly people that have been co-workers or friends for the longest time suddenly find themselves being attracted to each other. So these are the signs of attraction and interest that aren't always so cut and dry. So how do you really know that you're reading the signals correctly? Or how do you effectively put out signals that your love interest can pick up on? Well, our relationship expert, Dr. Eve, is in the hot seat once again to engage with us on this question. And of course, we take your comments and your questions. If you would please call us on 021-430-9881. Dr. Eve, great to have you here. You look fantastic.
Thank you, but I don't feel good.
I'm
sick.
Sorry. I was trying to put out a signal. Could you read what signal that was when I said you look fantastic just now?
But you look amazing. You don't look sick. That's the nice thing. It's in here. It doesn't reflect out there.
Makeup. Thank you.
Dr. Eve, when it comes to gauging how someone else feels about you or attraction or flirtation, where does one even begin? Because there seems to be a standard procedure. I don't know what that procedure is. It's never worked for me. But when it comes to that, how does one gauge how someone actually feels about you?
Yeah, I think it's an incredibly complicated thing, and I think it leads to a lot of confusion and mixed messages, which can be pretty dangerous as well. I think at the essence of it, we're all very scared of being rejected. So we may try and hide how we feel towards somebody. But you know what? From an instinctive point of view, our bodies are going to give out these signals. We just can't help ourselves. And there are a few signs which, with body language, that I mean, it's been refuted, and there's been a lot of scientific evidence around it. What are the body signs that really show I am or I'm not interested in you? So, for example, if I am interested in you, I'm going to say let's play a kind of a little game. If I'm talking to you, let's just say that we're sitting together, the three of us, and I'm talking to you, and I'm talking to you, and I'm not engaging with you directly like that. You're definitely going to feel that I'm not interested. Or if the three of us are sitting together and I'm only looking at you, Leanne, I'm only looking at you, and I'm totally avoiding eye contact with you, you're certainly going to get the sense that, you know, she's not into me. So eye contact is one big way of people knowing that I am interested in you. Then the other thing for women, we really do show our flesh. So women will kind of show some cleavage or show some flesh. I mean, right now I don't have a lot of flesh, and you've got some flesh shown. So you would be showing that. And also crossing of legs and uncrossing of legs in front of somebody. Is that a thing? Apparently it is a thing. Apparently
I've actually heard, like, if you're talking to someone and, like, for instance, if we were in conversation and I chose to sit like this rather, it would show that I'm more interested in Leanne than you.
I mean, I feel terrible right now.
What if I'm like just getting a random spasm? I mean, that could also happen.
But you know what you would do? You would then still kind of turn towards me and look at me in the face. But I felt terrible as you moved away. That's a big thing as well. And the other thing that women do is that they play with their hair, which is a very feminine trait.
Or the hair flip.
Exactly.
That's how you know.
But people shouldn't confuse that hair flip for this, because that's something different, right? That's not necessarily saying, that's like
but the constant like that.
The constant playing with the hair thing. And then also apparently when women put on lipstick, and that goes back to the primates, to baboons and to bonobos who have got red bums, and so they're showing off their red bums in terms of their mating dance. So women are putting on, like, I've got orange lipstick on right now. This is like part of what you want to draw attraction.
A mating call,
it's a mating call, and saying, look at me, look at me. Men seem to kind of buff it up and puff themselves up and sit more forward and more upright when they want to really do that, or really be in your faces and kind of take up your space.
Speak with the bass.
Yes, exactly. Hey, how's that? Voice, tone, absolutely, those things let you know. But it's kind of deceptive, and I think that it's really difficult to check in with this person. It leaves you feeling confused, and then do you have the courage? And this is what I want to know from our viewers. Do you really have the courage to check in with that person and say, is this a cue that you're interested in me, or is this you just being friendly? You know, what's the difference between being flirty and being friendly?
And I think David Beckham had to use other ways of doing things.
I see what you mean there. Anyway, so how do you know whether you're reading those signs correctly? Please give us a call on 021-430-9881.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
So we have a very interesting conversation right now with our relationship expert, Dr. Eve. And, you know, do you maybe like or love someone out there and you don't know if they're showing you signs that they feel the same way about you? Are you showing the right signs as well? Well, if you have questions or comments, you can call us on 021-430-9881, because Dr. Eve is here to ask the questions. I wanted to ask, I'm going to deviate a little bit from this, Dr. Eve. In this world that we live in today, with men maybe feeling a bit afraid of maybe coming on too strong, or maybe that their ways of coming, like, you know, addressing you or telling you that they like you might be deemed inappropriate.
Yeah.
Do you think the onus often lies on us as women to show men more now than ever that we actually are interested in them, because they're afraid of misreading the signs that aren't there, or maybe they are there and then, you know, just so I feel like maybe in my life I've got to show a guy more by maybe like touching him or making more eye contact with him, or being really, really obvious.
I love that,
Where in the
yeah.
past I would maybe take a back seat and allow him to do all the work.
I love that conversation that you and, you know, Kat were having now in the break around this. Whereas before, women had to be demure and
Yes.
stand back and wait for the guy, if we, you know, we're talking in heterosexist terms now, for the guy to make all the moves. And the guy had the full responsibility of having to do all those moves and having to, you know, move forward. And the woman had to act like she really wasn't interested. And now, because we live in a rape culture society, it really, really is up to women to practice what's called affirmative consent, and to keep letting the guy or the other woman know, I am really interested in you. So you're 100% right. That is it's our responsibility to take responsibility for how we're really feeling, instead of acting in a demure way. And I don't know, Kat, I mean, for you as a guy, how does that feel for you? Is that
I
more
think I certainly
difficult
agree
for
with
you?
with the scenario that that
Yeah.
Leanne was describing, in
Yeah.
that you know, you could find yourself in very difficult situations
Yeah.
if you were to always act on that hunch that, oh, she likes me. Some guys are blown up by their mere egos that make
Right.
them feel like they are irresistible to women, so they act on that. So I think a
Mm.
lot of men these days, like you say, do act on the notion that we have to hold back until you're absolutely sure that she's into you
Mm-hmm.
before you act on those feelings, which I think is a very safe option, but
I
doesn't
think it's
always play itself
responsible.
out in that way in
Yeah.
the natural course of love, does it?
Exactly right. I mean, I think that naturally you do want to show, as you said, the ego, your peacock feathers, and you want to move forward and say, look what I am, look what I have to offer you.
But then the question I have is that,
Yes.
you know, let's say you do find that somebody is attracted to you and you're reading
Yeah.
the signs correctly. Is it always necessary to pursue signs of attraction?
Only if you're really interested in the other person. You know, somebody who's attracted to you doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be attracted to that person. But I do really think that there isn't, I was going to say the word obligation, a responsibility to say to the other person, hey, I see you, I acknowledge you.
Yes.
And thank you, but you know what, I'm not kind of keen on this. This isn't going to work for me. It's the most horrible feeling when somebody just, we're going to talk about online behavior just now, but when somebody just turns their back on you, you're really left feeling, what is wrong with me? Don't I have it anymore? Why didn't this person pick up on it? Or I thought there was something. So it's really cool to just acknowledge, I see you, thank you for, you know, thank you for showing interest in me, but this is just not my vibe right now.
Yeah. And perhaps when we come back, we can have Dr. Eve answer the
Yeah.
very serious side of this, wherein if you are about to approach that situation, you've read the signs correctly. How do you do it correctly, especially in an office environment where a lot of legalities could
Yeah,
come into play and people's personal spaces could be infringed upon? So please give us a call on 021 9881. We'll be right back with Dr. Eve.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
All right, welcome back. It's a Monday morning. We're live, large and in charge on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is one of the deepest relationship
Typical.
topics we're talking about with Dr. Eve. We're talking about reading signals of attraction. Are you reading them correctly? How to respond to them correctly? We would like to have your questions and comments on 021 9881. And before the break, I was asking Dr. Eve about when those moments of possible attraction happen in a working environment. Because it's almost easier to fall in love or in like with somebody in a work environment because you spend, like you were saying during the break,
8 hours
8
or
hours every
more.
day with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
How do you approach that situation correctly so that you don't infringe on anybody's personal or private space that could lead to legalities coming into play?
And even if that person
difficult.
has a partner already, in most cases as well.
Well, I think you're going to know that because of the intimate space of your office, what's going on in their personal lives. But I think it's very difficult because of the power dynamics that happen in an office situation where there might be signals and cues and human interactions that really feel authentic. Because I think in an office environment, there's a lot of authenticity because you spend so much time together. You can't fake it for so long, for 8 hours a day. So I think that then the other person could pull their authority and say, actually, you're out of line now. But it's like, what just happened over here? You know, a few minutes ago, yesterday, we were really flirty, we were really friendly, I was getting the signals, I really took the gap and thought, okay, maybe there is a common interest here. Now you're putting the authority line on me and you're saying, there's a boundary, you've just been over familiar to me, or else you're sending me to HR, charge me with sexual harassment. I think it's a very contentious situation, which is why I think in an office environment, you've got to keep your boundaries really, really, really clear. You just don't want to do the flirty, friendly kind of stuff with each other.
But what if you think these are real feelings?
Exactly.
Just a question. I mean, what if you think, I mean, you've met the love of your life. Some people have met that way. Is it approaching the conversation saying to them, hey, listen, this is how I feel, and I was just wondering whether you are on that level, and if you're not, say no.
So much courage, Kat. I wish people would do that.
Do you go by email?
I was going to say, I think online, people then would get online and WhatsApp each other.
Hi. The subject line, hi.
You know how you put yourself at risk to be rejected then and to be humiliated, and then you got to go to work and see this person the next day. It's like, ouch, this is cringy.
So what do you do then if you feel
take it
those...
out the office. You take it out the office and you go to say, let's meet for a coffee somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I've catching feelings. This is how I'm feeling over here. What do we do in a work environment? And the other person can say, well, I really like you, but I'm really not interested, or I do have an attachment outside of the office, and so it's not going to happen. So, well, how do we manage ourselves while we're in the office?
An attachment, you say.
This is a real thing. I think a lot of people struggle with finding attractions within the workplace, and maybe even having a rule that they will never date someone. But it's nice to have rules. Let's just be honest.
Absolutely.
We don't always keep at it. What if you have flirted with someone, felt the feelings, caught the feelings, approached them, and there was no reciprocity?
Yeah.
And now you're sitting with the feelings. How do you deal with a situation where the person just doesn't like you back in the way that you like them?
Okay, so we're talking here about feeling crushed because your crush doesn't reciprocate.
Crushed by your crush.
It's very, very important to be able to be honest with yourself and to pick up that this person is being polite and friendly and is not reciprocating. In order for a relationship to grow, to be organic, there has to be, most importantly, reciprocity and responsivity. And if you're not getting that, you just got to let it go. And also, I urge people to be honest. If you don't feel those feelings, please do not reciprocate. Don't just play along. It just is too hurtful.
The worst.
Absolutely hurtful. And we're going to talk just now about what it's like online, because that's very different to how it is in real life, where you've got these cues.
Yeah, because the signal is just to swipe to the right, or is it to the left? Which one?
I wouldn't know.
You sure?
I'm definitely sure.
All right. Well, what you can do right now is give us a call on 021-430-9881 to engage in our conversation.
Swipe right.
Is it right? Okay.
Right.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Well, of course, we are still with our relationship expert, Dr. Eve. We're talking about reading the signs. Have you read the signs? Did you get it right? Did you get it wrong? I really want to know about those online conversations. Let's talk about chatting to somebody on WhatsApp, right? I find this all the time that this is the guy response, okay? But before we do that, let's chat with Bonga. Good morning, Bonga. How are you? Welcome to Expresso.
I'm good, and you?
Good, thank you. What's your question for Dr. Eve?
It's not good, actually. I just want to say something.
Yes.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
but please, can I put on Zulu?
Sorry, you can speak. We can hear you perfectly.
All right, I want to put it on Zulu. Kata ko na translate for me.
Larut Lomfang.
All right. Yazi inkinga mina ngibona sibhekana nayo mfethu uba nzima ukuthi okay share useqala ikelo yakuthayithanda ne. Siyishelile ukuthi ithanda isiyaqala siyakubuza ukuthi what are you doing for living? Issue mfethu yazi lo isenza ukuthi sifile kabuhlungu kahle. And igcina sokunzima manje ukuthi usheleke manje. Gcina uyasaba nokushela usuhlalisa usingile usaba ukuthi uzothola lo mbuzo ngilo.
So is the question about the girl asking you, what are you doing for me?
For living.
Oh, for a living. So he's basically saying that it's very difficult for guys to approach girls these days because the moment you approach it, the first thing they want to know is, what do you do for a living? So kind of judging your economic status, that makes it very difficult for guys to just honestly, on a feelings and emotional basis, to approach young ladies. Angitibong.
Yeah, he's out of it.
Sean Picham. So what do you then say to that, and how guys can get over that, or maybe even learn to pursue those young women or
So
women in
know
general?
what the bank balance looks like.
Yeah, like how about don't approach those kind of people then. But I guess it seems to be a common thing.
It's such a culture. The first thing I'm thinking about is that you are, you've got competing with blessers. These younger guys.
Exactly, and I think that's what Bonga's talking about, is that out there are I'm not blessers, these guys that can just drop bang.
Completely.
And so what chance do you then have?
And I'm so sad when I hear that young women are going for men or really depending on men, almost, and it's like absolute against feminism and all that we stand for.
Yeah.
For men to be able to provide them with the car, the cash, the credit card, the car, the clothing. That is absolutely terrible. And it is a big challenge for young men today to be able to say, listen, this is my value system. This is the thing that I really value. And if that's what you're going to value about me, you are not the right kind of woman for me. That's
So
not
you
who I
can't
wanna
really
be
fight
with.
that system, really.
No.
You kind of got to go through the paces, and if you encounter that challenge, cut the ties, move
Absolutely,
on.
absolutely. By saying, and maybe in a way, you know, women would then learn this isn't a good value system. You're uncomfortable.
I'm
Talk,
uncomfortable with that
talk.
because
Yeah?
that then says to me that there's a presupposition that most women are after blessers, whereas why can't we say that a woman is also allowed to say, I only would like to date a man of a certain financial standing because I have that view of my life. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, God, Kat, it makes me so uncomfortable because you know what it reminds me of? It's like a man saying, I only want to date a woman who looks a certain way because that's going to increase my status or because it's going to make me feel really good about having a woman who looks a certain way. So we're trying to move away from that. We're trying to empower women to be
Say
able
just
to earn
love.
their own money. No, to have equity in relationships.
But that doesn't nullify the fact that a woman can go out there and have her own career and totally
Yes,
kick bum.
absolutely.
Because you can do that while still saying, I want a man who's on the same economic social
Same.
standing as I
Same
am,
is
or even
different.
better because I want us to aspire to better. That's what I mean.
All I'm saying is, like, not with normal dating, but if I
Yes.
meet somebody that I potentially want to build a life with, I want to know what your credit score is. You know what I'm saying? I want to know, what am I inheriting when I build a life with you? Kind of situation. I'm allowed that, right?
Yeah, girl.
It's a natural instinct that women want men who have got ambition. So who are young women wanting to date? Doctors and lawyers and accountants. Why? I mean, it sounds so cliched because they see that their future is going to be secured. Today it's got to be about entrepreneurs, really, because that's in startups. But
Yo.
that is what it is. I think it's a really
Can't be
sad
picking
value
me up with
system.
Uber, that's
Yo,
all.
Dimwak. Bona, thank you so much for that
Yeah.
engaging question. That just opened up an entire can of worms, and I think we have to revisit this topic
Can
one
we?
day. But Dr. Eve, as always, thanks, babe.
Thanks, babe.